Hey, thank you everyone for joining us. We're going to get started, although we're still waiting for a few people to enter. Margaret, why don't you kick us off?
Okie doke, great. Good evening. I'm Margaret Tramontine, United Way's Chief Development Officer. Welcome to tonight's town hall meeting, and thank you for taking the time to join us. Thank you as well for your interest and for your support. Both are incredibly valuable to us, and we are very, very appreciative of both. Tonight, you will hear about the needs of residents struggling to make ends meet in our community and learn from my colleagues, Linny Jacob, 211's Chief Information and Referral Officer, and Faith Ann Butcher, our Chief Impact Officer, about how our United Way is working to make a positive difference in the lives of our neighbors. During this evening's program, if you have a question, please feel free to type it into the Q&A, and we'll be delighted to address it at the end of our evening together. Now, I turn this over. It's my great pleasure to introduce and turn the program over to United Way's President and CEO, Tom Gabriel. Tom, it's your turn.
Thank you, Margaret, and thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We promise we're going to keep this on schedule till about 30 minutes. We pride ourselves on running a tight ship, but if we do go a few minutes over, please know it's solely in the sake of and the spirit of elevating and amplifying the message of our community safety net, lifting up our neighbors in need. Thank you again for joining us. These are challenging times, to be sure. The impact of tariffs, stubborn 3% inflation that's not going away, a 4.3% unemployment rate that's rising, the impact of the longest government shutdown in history, a hospitality industry in shambles and only made worse due to thousands of flights canceled, and the pause in billions of dollars in SNAP benefits, as well as looming changes to Medicaid and education funding. All of these things have severely impacted, without hyperbole, more than 100,000 of our neighbors here in Westchester and Putnam. But make no mistake about it, no one is immune to these impacts. Where do you think food stamp recipients spend those dollars? They spend them at local grocery stores, which means with those grocery stores making less in income, they have to raise prices and or lay off staff. What do you think more uninsured individuals mean at our hospitals? It means less revenue, which means less nursing staff. Remember, there's no such thing as a Medicaid nurse. And having a place for your children after school may not be a problem for you personally, but without a safe place, other parents will be forced into part-time work so that they can be home at 3 p.m., which means less of a labor force, which means a lower GDP. To be truthful, this is just the crest of the wave. You see, if we're honest with ourselves, it's been bad for a while now. The United Way's 2025 ALICE report, which was released this summer, shows that a Westchester family of four with two children in childcare needs to earn more than $131,000 a year just to cover the basics, like rent, utilities, food, clothing, healthcare, etc. That's more than 4 times the federal poverty level, which is about $30,000 for a family of four. And in Putnam, that same family needs to earn $135,000. These are not these are survival expenses, mind you. I'm not talking about savings. I'm not talking about vacations. I'm not talking about Netflix. In total, 28% of Westchester residents are living paycheck to paycheck, while another 10% are in poverty. Since 2010, that's an increase of 36% in the paycheck to paycheck group and a 32% in those living in poverty. And the primary reason is really simple. The cost of goods and services have far outpaced wage increases. For example, in 2016, a family of four spent $600 a month on food. That same family spends $1,600 today. That's a 166% increase in 9 years. Similarly, housing costs and utilities have increased 66% during that same time period. These economic challenges are mirrored by the calls being received by our 211 helpline. You'll hear more about that program from Linny Jacob, our Chief Information and Referral Officer, shortly. If you're not aware what that is, the 211 helpline, which is located right here in White Plains, is a free confidential program available 24/7, 365 that plays a vital role in connecting people to health and human services, as well as assisting them during times of disaster and other community emergencies. And last year, we fielded more than 700,000 interactions via call, text, email, and web searches. During the 6-year period from 2019 to 2024, calls to our 211 helpline around food insecurity are up 327%. Calls around housing insecurity are up 113%. And calls asking for help with rent, income, and utilities are up 60%. But these aren't numbers. These are people with hopes and dreams like everyone else. These are single moms, seniors, veterans, disabled individuals trying to live independently, and so many more. And they need us. They need our United Way to do more, to provide a hand up, not a handout, because it's getting harder to survive out there. Our team of 35 professionals, 50 temporary after-school staff, as well as 31 board members work collaboratively with thousands of volunteers and donors to provide that hand up. Firstly, by investing dollars or essential goods in programs with proven results, that which we're most known for. Last year, we administered almost $600,000 in grants, and we just approved $115,000 in emergency food insecurity grants to support local food pantries. And we contributed more than $5.7 million in essential goods like school supplies, diapers, food, blankets, pillows, socks, and so much more. And thanks to several major donors, we will be purchasing a Sprinter van soon to make sure those goods get to where they are needed faster. And secondly, we operate dozens of programs directly helping people living on the margins, like our 211 helpline, our Ride United Last Mile food distribution program, as well as other food distribution efforts. Our Education United free after-school program, which serves 600 children and families in Ossining, Greenberg, and Tarrytown. Our United to Read early childhood literacy program, and our summer backpack program, which provides thousands of at-risk children with the tools they need to be school ready, and so many more. In total, last year, our United Way partnered with 316 nonprofit organizations and schools and leveraged or invested almost $36 million in our community. We punch above our weight. But we could not have done it without you. So for whatever role you played in that effort, thank you. But I implore you, if you are in the position to do so, please consider increasing your gift or getting more involved. Now is the time for it. Hundreds of thousands of people are suffering. I know I am. I know many of our staff and board of directors are, and many of our donors have been. They've heard the call and have been responding. Now, to tell you more about our impact in the community and some of our programs and initiatives, we're going to kick it off with Linny Jacob, our Chief Information and Referral Officer overseeing our 211 helpline. Linny, take it away, please.
Thank you, Tom. Hi, everyone. Once again, my name is Lenny Jacob. I oversee the 211 call center service for 4 regions in New York State. I would like to begin by sharing a real example of the kind of calls we receive every day, a voice from our community.
Second.
Hello.
Hi, this is a callback you requested from 211.
Yes. Hi.
Hi,
Thank
how
you
can I
for
help
calling
you?
back.
Of course.
Yeah. My sister told me to call this number because you guys will be able to help me with the situation I'm in, the first time ever. I don't know how to explain it. Who am I talking to, first of all? Sorry. If
So
I'm.
this
Mhm.
is, like I said before, this is Myra from 211.
Okay, Myra. Hi, Myra. I live at 50 Hawthorne Avenue, Yonkers, New York,
Okay.
and I need help. I really need help. It's my first time I've been looking around and we Googled you guys, the 201, and we read what service you guys can help people like me right now. I don't collect anything, no food stamps, any of that. I am a working single mom. I've been living in my home for 9 years. I have a 12-year-old, just turned 12. She's a girl. And I've been living by check by check. Make the long story short, I need help with my rent. I need
I see.
I need help. I'm behind. It's first time ever. I'm stuck. How life is getting more expensive, and I thought I was updated with my rent, but it's the first time ever. And the management office said, try to get help. There's help out there, Teresa. You're a good tenant. Try. We know you're working mom. So, with that being said, I need help to help me just to pay that off. So, believe it or not, I will give you documents, receipts, what I do. I do work. I do have Section A CVR.
Thank you, Faith. That was a voice from right here in our community, a working single mom with a 12-year-old looking for rent support. We explored options like a SNAP, childcare assistance to help her save money and keep up, with the rent. Since a client is over the income limit for DSS support, we provided information on local CBOs that offer rent assistance. It is a reminder of why we do this work, why every call matters, and how 211 is often the critical support people turn to, whether it's their first call or their final threat for help. And that call really connects with me personally. When I first came to this country as an immigrant, right after high school, I had no idea how the system worked. I didn't know there was such a thing as health insurance or how to apply for it. I didn't know there were programs or services to help people get by, or that there were even people out were struggling to meet ends meet. I simply didn't know where to turn or what resources were available. So when I hear calls like the one we just listened to, I understand that feeling, that uncertainty. That moment when someone finally says, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? That's exactly what 211 is for, a trusted place to start, a voice on the other end who listens, and a connection to hope. Today, I will share some insights on how 211 is serving our communities, the challenges we face, the ways we can work together to ensure everyone gets the help they need when they need it. So, what callers are asking for? As you can see it from the screen, every day our call specialists talk to people who feel just like that, unsure where to begin, but ready to take the first step. When people call 211, they're not just asking for information, they're looking for direction and reassurance. The most common needs we hear about are housing, utilities, and food. We also get calls about mental health, childcare, transportation, job training, and healthcare access. Housing and utility assistance remain at the top of the list, a clear sign that affordability continues to be one of the biggest challenges families face. In New York State, we managed over 2 million requests for help in 2024. What does that mean? That means every 20 seconds, someone in our state dials 211 for help. It could be a mother wondering how to feed her children, or a veteran struggling with anxiety, or an older adult needing help getting to a medical appointment. So, how 211 helps? As you heard, 211 is free, confidential, and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. When someone calls, they don't get a recording, they get a trained resource specialist who listens, assesses their situation, and connects them to the most appropriate local resources. Let me repeat, appropriate local resources. We walk callers through eligibility, explain how they can apply, in some cases, follow up to make sure they get the help they needed. And it is not just about helping individuals. The information we gather from these calls give communities a bigger picture, right? It helps identify the patterns, gaps in services, or urgent needs so local leaders can respond more effectively. During the recent, government shutdown, we received actually calls from federal employees missing paychecks, families worried about SNAP or WIC benefits, and people struggling to cover rent or utilities. Even though call volume wasn't significant, our team played stay ready, making sure anyone who reached out got the support they needed. In moments like that, 211 is there as a safety net, helping people when other systems are delayed or disrupted. Of course, United Way or our 211 cannot do it all by itself. That's where our partnerships come in, working with the local county departments, agencies, so that when someone calls, we can connect with them with the help they need. That, what makes our United Way and our 211 strong is not just our team, it is the partnership that makes our work possible. So, over the next 2 minutes, I'm going to focus on partnerships. In addition to our existing collaborations, we have expanded our reach in the past few months. And I'm going to start with the regional expansion. Now we are handling calls from the Northeast region as well. That means our call center serves 24 counties, connecting residents across a wide area to critical community resources. And shifting focus on to our next project, which is 1115 Medicaid Waiver Project. We are working on a waiver project across 9 counties, tackling things like housing, food access, and transportation, and all the stuff that really affects people's overall health and well being. In this project, 211 plays a key role in screening and eligibility assessment, then connecting Medicaid members to local community based organizations that provide the non-clinical support they need. Through this closed loop referral system, we ensure individuals don't fall through the cracks. By connecting healthcare with everyday support, we help people stay healthy, not just at the doctor's office, but in their day-to-day lives. Now, moving on to our next local initiative, which is Westchester County Eviction Prevention Partnership. We expanded our work in Westchester County to help residents who are facing eviction or housing challenges. By working closely with the Housing Action Council and other housing partners, 211 connects people directly to legal help, mediation, and rental assistance. This teamwork helps families stay in their homes, prevents homelessness, and takes some pressure off local courts and emergency services. So, through partnership like the Medicaid waiver and the Westchester Eviction Initiative, 211 is serving more people in more places with a greater compassion and impact than ever before. So, I want to end by saying behind every 211 call is a person, a neighbor who wants help navigate a tough moment. And behind every answer is a network of people who care, from our resource specialists to our community partners to every one of you who support this work. Together, we are not just answering calls, we are answering needs. And now I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Impact Officer, Faith Ann Butcher, who will share more about the unique and innovative ways our United Way continues to support and strengthen our community.
Thank you, Lenny. So just give me 1 second because when I went to click you, I lost my presentation. So always got to be something. Thank you, everybody. Lenny has talked so much about the need, and through 211, our United Way is fortunate that we are able to truly hear the needs in the community. And it gives us a very big insight. In addition to the numbers, you heard the voices, and it reminds us every day that it is people that we are helping, and the needs of the community. They're not just numbers. They're our neighbors, and sometimes they're ourselves. You know, our United Way has a multi-prong approach to helping. Uh, you know, United Ways are obviously most known for giving grants, but it's only one small part of what we do, right? So I'm going to go over some of our highlighted programs that we have done on the community impact side of the organization. And I'm going to share with you some information about the latest crisis that we have helped handle in our communities, and that is the SNAP crisis, right? So unfortunately, the government shutdown impacted not only the federal workers, but the release of the November payment of the SNAP benefits, which impacted about 77,000 households in Westchester and Putnam, right? When this crisis happened, you know, we're very fortunate as a nimble organization that we were able to get our board together. And once we heard the needs of the community, we were able to actually release an emergency allotment of funds to the two food banks that serve the area, which is Feeding Westchester and the Food Bank of the Hudson Valley. And those grants actually went towards funding the smaller programs, the smaller food banks. And this way, the food banks had more bang for their buck. It gave them more buying power. But we didn't just stop there, right? We also partnered with Putnam County to be able to distribute grants to the food pantries in Putnam County, and are distributing gift cards to the SNAP recipient list. And then Linny is helping people again to be able to direct them to where they can get help in this community. Uh, Hopefully, by the end of this evening, the government will have its lights back on. But even then, it will take some time before the money will get allocated and actually put on the EBT cards. So just because the lights go on doesn't mean that, you know, that everything is back to normal. It takes a while to just like when we in the cold when we have to start the engine up, right? It takes us a few minutes to get everything settled. It's going to be the same way in government to get everything going. So in this time, it is, you know, the season of Thanksgiving when there are food drives and stuff going on to begin with. But now with people not having their SNAP benefits, the need is more, right? And we are there out helping them. Uh, and forgot to mention, just in addition, thank you to DoorDash, because with DoorDash's help, we are also helping deliver meals in Peekskill. I don't want to, you know, I need to thank DoorDash and the city of Peekskill for teaming up with us to be able to deliver those meals. In addition to the SNAP crisis, we have our essential goods for basic needs program, and our essential goods program brings in about 5.2 million dollars worth of product donations every year, which are goods that families need that they don't always have the money to buy. In the picture you can see mattresses, right? And to be able to provide homes mattresses, we heard stories of children sleeping on plywood, right? And so being able to provide these mattresses so that they can sleep in comfort. We've actually just started a partnership with an organization called Delivering Good, which has allowed us to partner with several luxury retailers, such as Black House White Market or White Market, yeah, and Ralph Lauren and the Loft. And the recipients are so excited to have access to such a high quality clothing that they feel seen and they feel like there is dignity. And you know, we're not just giving stuff. We're not giving people's old donated items. These are new items that are being donated from manufacturers and retailers to really help elevate people, which is not only giving them a financial break, but also lifting their spirits and giving them hope. One of my favorite programs, our Education United After School program, is in 4 schools this year. We're in our 4th year here. And as you can see in the picture, we have also expanded our offerings. We now have Lego robots, which the kids are loving, and they are learning how to not only build, but use their creativity, and to be able to have these moments is saving parents thousands of dollars, right? To be able to have this. I just heard a statistic from the Child Care Council that over half a million women left the workforce because of childcare, right? So being able to provide this after school service so families can continue working and then to have it free so they're not even having to pay for it has been a tremendous service in the communities that we serve. And they are truly grateful for it. And we're also improving the students' attendances in school and improving their grades. So it's a win-win across the board. We have 2 programs that are coming up. This quarter, we should be launching our Growing Together Westchester program, which is actually a program to help both the Black maternal health and early childhood development, and by helping give information. Whereas 211, you have to call into the program. For our Growing Together program, once you sign up for the program, we tickle you through either an email or a text message around the time that you should know certain information and be like, hey, we're here, you might want to know this, to help save lives. One of the things that it is when you sign, we try to get people to sign up before childbirth, so we can actually send messages home of whether or not to ask questions about whether or not people are experiencing any kind of postpartum symptom. And through this effort, we're going to be able to educate people, connect them with resources, and hopefully save lives. And the program that we are launching tomorrow, if we and we're having a press conference, is we are actually starting the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. It is a national program that is coming to Westchester for the first time. We are starting it in the White Plains, Portchester, and Peekskill communities because of the way that we have to work with the program. And we are purchasing books that are shipped directly to the children from birth up to their 5th birthday. And they have the opportunity to each build their own libraries, which helps increase their vocabulary, improves, it stirs their imagination, it helps develop a love for reading. So those are the things that we have going on in Impact, and I am going to turn it back over to Tom.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you, Lenny. And thank you again, Margaret, for kicking us off. Again, I am always in awe of the incredible work that you and your teams do in the community, supporting our neighbors and helping to lift people up. We want to give people an opportunity on this call because it is exactly 6 o'clock, and we try to be true to our word about getting you in and out on time. But if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. There was one brought to us by one of our partners in the community, the Hebrew Free Loan Society, about that particular call, Lenny, and whether we provided that referral. And I did tell her yes, because we do. We frequently refer there. For those who don't know about the Hebrew Free Loan Society, they're an incredible organization that can provide support around things like rental assistance. There's other organizations as well that we would provide those referrals for. Everything is locally based. We try the only identifying information that we ask for in 211 is your zip code, so that way we can provide local referrals. And any questions in the Q&A? Again, please put those questions in the Q&A. I don't see anything yet, but I do, before we say goodbye, I do want to thank you all again for joining us. We appreciate your taking your time, listening to us, listening to our interventions in the community, and more importantly, listening to the needs, the very real needs that our neighbors are experiencing. I hope that call that Lenny played for you serves as a wake up for all of us. These are regular folks. These are not some nameless group. These are people who are trying very hard to make ends meet, and they just can't because it costs too damn much to live in Westchester, and they don't qualify for supports. So For all of you and what you are doing to help us or any other organization in this community lift up our neighbors, thank you. And thank you again for being united. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.